Welcome to Barbecue Catering Smarts, the go-to podcast for barbecue operators looking to grow and streamline their catering operations. Every episode, we're serving up expert advice, proven systems, and flavorful strategies straight from top leaders in the barbecue and catering world. So fire up the pit. It's time for another sizzling episode.
Hello again. I'm Michael Attias, your host of Barbecue Catering Smarts. And today's guest is Brent Reaves, owner of Smokey John's Barbecue. Brent quite literally grew up in the business, learning the power of great food and hospitality at his dad's side before earning a degree in hotel and restaurant management and stepping into the family operation full-time. With more than 20 years in the trenches, he's now leading Smokey John's day-to-day operations while focusing on smart, sustainable growth through dine-in, takeout, and catering. And by the background, also grocery, which I want to talk about, and from building systems that protect food quality at scale to create opportunities for team and community. Brent brings a thoughtful, real-world perspective on what it takes to build a barbecue brand that lasts, and we're excited to have him on the show today. But before we get started, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsor, Caterzen Catering Software. They help barbecue restaurants turn their catering chaos into calm. Discover why barbecue restaurants trust Caterzen to save them time and increase catering sales. Go to caterzen.com and sign up for a walkthrough of the software. Now let's dive into this episode of Barbecue Catering Smarts. Welcome, Brent. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. You've been a long time client. Always loved the energy. You've always got great energy. So for being early in the morning, I appreciate it. I've hit the sauna and had a little bit cold water in the shower. I can't do a cold plunge. I don't know these people who cold
I
plunge.
love it.
Do you cold
Love
plunge?
the cold plunge. Oh my God, love it. I just had a cold shower a minute ago.
How
Love the cold plunge.
how long can you last?
I usually go about 7 minutes.
I did maybe 17 seconds and I was out.
I understand. I do understand.
I can deal with the cold shower a little bit, but anyway, a little bit of cold shower, ending the shower with a little splash of ice cold water. Definitely, I don't know. I bought one beginning of the year, and when I'm in Nashville, my fiance and I use it, and it's like I have so much energy from the infrared sauna and the cold plunge. So if you're lacking energy, just finish off with a cold shower and, just tons of energy. Okay.
Love the cold shower.
Yeah. Awesome. Give me a number between 1 and 300. Let's get an icebreaker so people can get to know you a little bit better.
Let's go 215.
215. If you could be a character in a fairy tale, which one would you choose?
Character fairy tale. You have such amazing questions.
It's not me. Somebody else put it together. It's online. 1,000 great questions or something like that.
I love it. Oh man, fairy tale. I don't know, maybe Peter Pan.
I think that's probably most men can relate to Peter Pan.
Right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, how long has your business been around?
So my dad started the company in 1976. So we actually, in August would be 50 years.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So, did he have a barbecue background? How did he get into it?
So it's crazy. He did not have a barbecue background. He just loved to cook. And he actually just started playing around with a little smoker he had in his grill. We just playing around, He was really real estate. He was a real estate guy. He owned a mortgage broking business. And he, had an insurance company. So he would sell real estate. He would write the policies, all of it, right? And so what he would do is just to, say thank you to clients, he would smoke a turkey or a ham and give it to them just to say thank you. So what ended up happening was like he started getting more requests of turkeys and hams than he did for insurance.
That's sort of how it starts off, right?
That's it.
So did he start off catering at, out of your backyard and then got a restaurant? What happened?
So he really was just kind of doing the turkeys. I think he had a friend that came over his house one day and he had like 100 turkeys that were all over the house. man, these homeless quarters like everywhere, right? So his buddy comes over, is like, John, you need a restaurant. This is ridiculous. And he's like, okay, well, okay, I'll try to do a restaurant. And so there was this old guy that had a barbecue shop, and dad was like, hey, you know what? Can I work with you? So he worked with him for like 6 months for free. And so he learned how to run a smoker. He learned the ins and outs of barbecue business, and ended up opening in Big John's Barbecue at the time.
Is your dad still alive?
Now he passed away in 2019.
Oh man, I would have loved to meet your dad because
Oh my god.
just if we don't talk for any more than just now, there's a lot of big takeaways that people don't realize. One,
Yeah.
you don't have to start off with a lot of money, and the good thing about barbecue is, and I've talked to a lot of operators, they start off, they're hobbyists, right? And, they start cooking for their friends and family. And next thing you know, someone says, hey, my son's getting married. Would you do the rehearsal dinner? And then they do it.
Yep.
They're not really making money. They do it as a favor because it's like a godson or something. Next thing you know, somebody else make a little money. Next thing you know, you've got this side hustle that's bringing you more than your job. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, now, I can take those profits, roll it into a restaurant. And that's the great thing about barbecue is you can literally start with nothing and
Oh yeah.
and work your way up. It's not like a lot of other restaurants where, nobody's catering Mediterranean, right? Nobody said,
No.
it's like, John, your deli sandwiches are the best. Could you make us some turkey sandwiches? Barbecue is one of those, but probably that, and that's probably the best backyard convert over. The other takeaway is your dad worked for free for 6 months, and that's something that I personally relate to because I worked at Corky's in college, and when I left, I had a job in sales, got fired, I just got married, and I told the guy at Corky's, I said, "Look, I'll wait tables for half the day because I need money, but I'll work half the day because I don't know the kitchen, I don't know the operations." And that's what led me to getting a franchise. Is a lot of people are like,
Wow.
if you're not, if you're not going to pay me, screw you. And like, there's so many people that would just mentor you and take you under the wing, and you would learn so much. And you'd never learn that. Like, if your dad was an employee of that guy's, right, and he was working on the line or, whatever, he would have never learned that because the guy's like,
No.
dude, just make the sandwiches and shut up. Like,
Right.
leave me alone. Because he comes in there, it's more like a peer mentor situation, and he's willing to take them in, show them under the hood and take them under his arm because operators, I was telling someone the other day, it's a lonely business. Like, nobody cares, right? Your employees don't want to hear about your problems, right?
Nope.
And the only people, and your wife loves you. Are you married?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Your wife and your kids love you, but they don't want to hear about your problem. They just want to show me the money. Like, don't tell me about the problems because, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical or misogynistic, but I think when you're in a position of being, the major breadwinner and you've got a business that supports the family, they don't want to hear that because that causes anxiety and you
Yeah.
need peace in the house. So you have to sort of, as a man or a woman, if you're the one in that position, you have to take that on your shoulders. So the only place you can really go, and you can't go to your friends because if your friend has a job, they don't understand.
No.
They take it, it's like, oh, my boss cut my pay, or I lost my job today. Yeah, they don't understand. So the only place you could really go is people doing what you're doing. Other barbecue operators, your friends that own businesses, they're the only ones that care about your success or your failure. Because
Yeah.
you can't tell your employees like, hey, I just had this record-breaking year and I'm buying a Mercedes. They don't want to see that. They don't want to hear that.
Nope.
And again, your friends don't want to hear about your success if they're not at the same level, right? They're just,
Right.
not that they're not happy for you, but you almost don't want to brag to your friends like, hey, we did really well. We bought a lake house,
Yeah.
so a lot of good stuff. How old were you when your dad started the restaurant?
Oh my God. I was not.
Oh, it's before you were born.
It was so I was So I was born in '77. So
Okay.
I was a year after he opened. I showed up. I just assumed that my mom and dad had a great year. I was
Maybe,
birthed out of a great year.
I don't know, maybe business was slow and he was a little bored. I mean,
Had nothing else to do.
you know, got time on your hand, a lot of food. I mean,
Hey, a lot of food.
probably
Couple-
one month were you born in?
I was in November.
Probably an ice storm in March,
Right.
February, March, coming through Texas. I mean, anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So, how old were you when you started working in the business?
Oh my God, I was 6. I was actually 6 years old.
What
And
did?
so my dad just would take me to the restaurant. I'm sure I was getting on my mom's nerves, and dad was like, "Hey, let me just get you out of the house," you know. So definitely the summertime, he would just take me to the restaurant, and we had like this tabletop Pac-Man game, and so I always wanted to play that. I said, "Dad, hey, I need to get some quarters." So he would give me like 2 or 3 quarters. I'd blow them in like 10, 15 seconds, you know. So after about a couple of hours of that, he was like, "You know what? Forget this. Go get a pitcher of water and go get a pitcher of tea." And I said, "Okay." So I did that. Coming in 6 years old, I got the water and the tea. That it's okay. So you see all the tables? Don't let anybody's cup get less than half full. He said, "Just you fill it up. Don't add, just fill it up." Okay. So I go fill all the water, the tea, you know, and so I just sit back and I don't know what I'm doing. I just fill in the water and tea. Next thing you know, like the first couple of tables leave, and then like there's like dollars on the table. So I go get the dollars and I run back to my dad. I was like, "Dad, they left their money. They left their money." And he was like, uh, "They didn't leave their money." He said, "That's what you call a tip." He said, "Whenever you provide service above what someone expected, they'll give you a tip." He said, "And if you do this every time you come to the restaurant, you will never ask me for Pac-Man money ever again." And I was like, "Man, this instant gratification was amazing." I was like, "Count me in this business." And that's where I got started.
Wow. How about do you remember how much you made on a shift doing that?
Oh, I'd make about $15, $20. You gotta think that's like 84.
Dude, that's like making 60, $70 at 6.
Yes. At 6. Exactly.
And
So
and
I
it's
would
and it's legal money.
leave money.
That's
Leave money.
crazy. That's crazy. So
I got started.
so did you ever go to work for anybody else or do you always work in the family business?
So I did, but dad made me learn every part of the business. So at 6, I did that. But 13, I started washing dishes and I bust tables. I did that for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started learning catering. He started teaching me how to do catering at 16. So by the time I was graduating high school, I was catering weddings and events for 2 to 300 people by myself, like organizing them, planning them,
Wow.
all that.
And I'm
And
assuming back at that time it was all paper and pen, right?
all paper and pen. Like, I mean, old school, with the, what do you call it? The carbon copy,
Oh yeah. The two-part form. Yep.
2-part forms, old school.
We had at Corky's, we had those two-part forms, and that's how we wrote up orders. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. That's how we did it. Yeah. Back in the day.
I don't think
And,
anybody
and
even has. I don't think anybody even has forms anymore.
they do. I just recently catered for a Christmas party, and we catered Mexican food. Really amazing restaurant. They had the carbon copy still. I was
Really?
like, y'all need caterers in.
Please send them over. We're ready.
Right. I'm telling you.
So it
But
had. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying. But then after, like in school, I was like, hey, you know what? I graduated high school. I was like, I might as well do this in college. And so I went to college, UNT, for hotel restaurant management. And so while I was there, my first year I was horrible. I did terrible in school because I partied all the time.
That was
And it was
that was my first and second year.
oh, oh yeah. I was strong in it, Michael. I did a really, really good job of partying. And,
Yeah.
my parents saw the report card, and I was on academic probation, like at like a 1.6 or some GPA. So my dad was like, "You know what? You had a lot of fun. You worked really hard and not working on school." He said, "So you know what you can do? You can pay for college if you want to keep going." And so what I did was I wanted to keep going, so I got a job at Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, I remember Black Eyed Pea. Home
Yeah,
cooking,
back in the day.
home cooking.
That's right. I worked for them, and then I worked for Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, good.
I paid for school. Mhm.
So what did you learn from those outfits that you were able to take back to the family business? How old were you when you came back and started working in the business, and how old were you when you took it over, I guess, from your dad?
Yes, I was 22, um, when I first started working with dad. So I graduated college and actually went straight to the restaurant.
Okay.
My brother was coming back home, and he was working for, uh, he was doing, what was he doing? Working in New York somewhere. And so he was decided to come back. And so I was like, man, I'll graduate and then we can do this together. So I was 22. And you come back from working like with Outback and Black Eyed Peas, but then you go to like mom and pop. It's like it's not the same. It's like there's no structure, there are no metrics, there's like nothing. So we had some struggles early on. We had some struggles.
Let me guess. You came in and your brother came in with all these highfalutin big city ideas, and your dad's like, "What the heck are you talking about? We've been doing it this way. We got no anorexic kids. Like, what do you complain about? You just need to just
It's
shut
right.
up and bust a table."
Man, were you there, Michael?
I
You
think
were
I
there.
I think every father. How old are your kids?
I have no kids actually.
Oh, okay. So you don't
Yeah.
have. Do you have any nephews or nieces in the
Oh
business?
yeah, nieces and tons of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so they all think they know better. I mean, that's
Oh
just
yeah.
human nature. My daughter worked in private equity for a company that owned a lot of software companies, and
Hmm.
she's in the job 3 months, and now she's on Shark Tank.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like I tell you what, when you bootstrap something and you know what it's like, not just theoretical, and it's a whole different,
Oh yeah.
the people she's working with, it's a whole different ballgame. So I totally get
Oh
that.
yeah.
Um, how old were you when did your dad did he work up until he died, or at some point did he retire? And
He was on in and out. So my dad was like, he actually really was not good at the restaurant business. He was amazing at real estate. He was amazing at connecting, networking, all that good stuff. But restaurants were too slow, and the money was too slow for him. So it's just like he was kind of in and out, but he still wanted to kind of control and run things. So in 2013, I think he just had enough of me and my brother. He was like, you know what? Y'all just buy it from me and just forget it. You take all these crazy ideas that y'all are doing, internet and all this stuff y'all want to do, and you just take it. And I was like, okay. He's like, and you're going to see what it means to run something and on your own. And like, he was like, we had this whole thing. And so I said, okay, I'll show you, you know? But it's funny because like he's that kind of guy that he actually liked that. He liked that I was like, watch. I was like, watch what we do.
yeah, did
So
did he there's always an interesting dynamic between parents and children in business.
yeah.
Did before he died, did he tell you and your brother how proud he was of you?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. Like right before he was dying, actually. He actually told me a year before he died, and he was like, you know what? You're gonna take this to a whole other level. He's like, you got the patience for this business, and you're gonna see it through. He's like, he said, I got it started, and I see where you're taking it. And he's like, man, I'm just proud of you guys and what you've done. And he actually, before he actually passed, because he was no oxygen, and we had to
Uh,
actually make a decision, to
uh,
he didn't want to be on an incubator and all that stuff.
yeah.
So but he told us everything like right before he died. And
Um,
again, and he
that
just shared his heart. It was, man.
that's priceless. A lot of people
Yeah,
never get that, pat on the back. It's never good enough.
man.
So that's good for y'all. Um, I want to
And,
go.
and it was what
Go
was
ahead.
crazy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, go
What
on.
was crazy was my brother, my sister, and I. So I've done a lot of TV at this point, a lot of Food Network, Cooking
Yeah.
Channel, all that stuff. So we actually did a TV show with Valerie Burton, and we won the show, but we couldn't tell anybody about it. And so we were trying to wait until the show aired. The show was going to air a week after he actually that day he passed.
Oh,
So that one of some of the last words we told him is that, "Hey, Pop, we gotta let you know we won the show." And so he just smiled. He was like, "Oh man, I can't believe it." So it was really cool to have that moment, and with my brother and my sister all together.
oh my God, that's so great. I want to go back two things. One, working for a corporate restaurant, what ideas did you take from them to bring to your business?
I think one of the biggest things I took from Outback um, was they had this position called like a quack. It was like the quality controls person, quality assurance controls, and it's kind of how they would monitor all of the food before it came out. So it's like you would make any adjustments, wiping the plates and all that. So that's a big position that really hit me, um, because mom and pop, you're just making stuff, slinging it out,
So is it like an expediter? And
like an
they,
expediter.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's very interesting. You said so. You implemented that in the business.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought that was, especially in barbecue. I think it's cool that plating comes out a certain way, that you lay the plate out a certain way, and if you can catch it before the customer gets it, it just makes it better. Especially like this day and age with social media. I mean, the first thing people do is take a picture. I mean, that's like the number one thing, right? So that was
I
one of the things that just really stood out to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I worked for Corky's in college, and Don Peltz, who has since passed, I'm friends with his son Barry. The family
Hmm.
has sold out, but you always had a manager at the line expediting orders, and checking the tray. And
Hmm.
people don't believe me when I say this. I don't even have to touch a piece of food. I don't have to temp it. I can tell with my eyes, is it fresh? Is it dried out? Is it cold? Is it hot? It's like you
Hmm.
have this sense about you. You just know by looking at it. And, even
Hmm.
to this day, I can tell when I'm cooking something in the kitchen and if it's going to turn out good or not. It's almost like a sixth sense about food. Like
Yes.
you don't have to even, and when people question you, go, okay, freaking try it. And then, oh, you're right. But that
Hmm.
comes from repetition. It's like
Yeah.
you've got to go through thousands of plates of food to understand like what is fresh and hot. I mean,
Hmm.
and that was probably one of the biggest things that we did.
Hmm.
Just like what you did is like make sure it looks good. Same thing on a catering. Like
Oh man.
if those beans are overcooked, get another damn pan. If
That's right.
that coleslaw is at the right temperature. You just know.
Hmm.
You just know,
Hmm.
and it makes a big difference. Especially
And
now, everybody's a foodie and everybody's a food critic. So there's not a lot of room. When I was growing up, if I got taken to Shoney's, I mean, somebody died or it was a birthday. I mean, that's
oh
a
man, that's a win.
it was.
Oh god,
But
you make
now,
me hungry when you say Shoney's.
oh yeah, the fudge cake and the strawberry pie, all you can eat breakfast buffet. But now,
Okay.
now you got 2-year-olds eating sushi and complaining that it's not fresh enough. I mean, it's just a whole
That's right.
different food palette. When
Hmm.
when you look back, I'm sure like literally you could probably write a book about all the memories with your dad. He sounds like
Oh
just an
yeah.
amazing. What would you say are the one, two, three takeaways you learned from him about running a business?
So this is probably one I say all the time. Dad used to say, get the business and figure it out later. Um, I used to say that, and I go like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" So we'd have these events where someone's like, "Hey, you know, I think years ago, Radio Shack wanted to do a catering with us, and it was 5,000 people. Never served 5,000 people. It's like, oh my god! And he told them, "Oh yeah, this is great. Yeah, no, we got it, no problem." And he's like, "I don't know how in the world we're going to do this food for 5,000 people," but he figured it out, and it was a success, and it was a great event. And it's like, so I learned, you know what? If it's something I may not know how to do, don't worry about it. We can always figure it out.
There's always a way to figure it. It's funny, uh, one of the biggest things that I see is people are waiting until everything's perfect to get something going.
Oh,
And it's like
please.
I operate by ready, fire, aim. Like get the shit out there. And if you got to adjust, you adjust, you know,
Yeah,
and you figure it out. Because if you wait till everything is 100% perfect and nothing gets done, nobody makes any money. So that's
that's right. That's right.
any other big takeaways from your dad?
Um, I think the other thing was and he said this probably a couple of years before he passed. He would always say this is like figure out a way to make money while you're asleep. That was like his big thing is be able to make money while you're asleep.
I'm sure in real estate. So how are you making money while you're sleeping?
Like when we got in the grocery stores, when we, we bottled the barbecue sauce, we bottled the rub, and so now that's in grocery stores. As you see behind me, the banana pudding.
I know I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I'm starving
Uh,
looking at that.
Come on, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. It gives us something to talk about. Um, what percentage, I'm not going to ask specific numbers, but what percentage of your revenue would you say is the grocery business, the sauce, the rubs, the banana pudding?
Oh, it's very small right now. It's about maybe 8 or 9% at this point, because we're just now growing it.
Right.
But it is growing rapidly. But we do so much, like so we've got basically four parts of our business. We have the restaurant.
Yep.
It's just a single unit. We do catering, and then we do concessions, like with the State Fair of Texas. We have like 5 different locations out there.
Wow.
So the amount that we do at the State Fair of Texas is what most people probably do in a year, and we do it in about 24 days.
Are you serious?
And-
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a show we that's still on Hulu that we did. It's called Deep Fried Dynasty. So it kind of gives you an idea of kind of the behind the scene of the fair. So we did it with A&E.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah. So you can kind of see kind of all the crazy stuff that we do.
So, does most of your money come from catering or from the fair or pretty evenly split or
They're actually evenly split. They are evenly split.
Mhm.
Right now, catering is growing. The restaurant is probably the largest. Catering now is about 34% of the business. Um, Actually, catering is about 28%. The restaurant's about 34, and then the fair is the other percentage.
Why? Wow.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
my hat's off to you. A lot of people think you have to make more money, you have to have more locations.
Yeah,
I'm all about how do you maximize your footprint because double the locations is triple the headaches, right?
100%.
So I
100%.
love that you're tapping in. And Corky's did the same thing, right? They did concessions. They were in grocery stores. They shipped. They're on QVC. They're finding
Mhm.
lots of different ways to get the name out, and all the stuff. It just builds the brand, and it all funnels them back in.
Yeah,
So
for us, our strategy is growing the brand name and the brand presence. If we decide to do more restaurants, you can just because, and Dallas is so large,
yeah,
DFW is so huge. For us, it's a ton of barbecue restaurants. There's like 9 barbecue restaurants within a 4 mile radius of
I'm
me.
sure. I mean, Dallas is like Memphis. It's a barbecue town,
Oh,
and a lot of good barbecue. It's not like
and it's good, right?
yeah, you can't say your competitors suck. I mean, there's a lot of good
No,
barbecue down there.
no, we've got places around here now. One of my friends, I think he just got a Michelin star for barbecue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Cadillac barbecue. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Todd, he's a freaking barbecue genius. And I think that's the cool thing about the barbecue business. It's kind of like as you're saying, about who you can talk to. Like the barbecue business, like we all talk. We have relationships, and it's like, and you're always looking for the other person to win. So
There's
it's a
plenty
great community.
yeah, there's plenty of business for everyone, and we're obviously we've rebranded the podcast, and my roots are in barbecue, and we realize, like, our best customers are barbecue restaurants,
Mm,
and we
mm,
wanna attract more of them because they do the volume that they need good systems, and we wanna build an educational community where we can show them how to grow catering sales, operate more profitable, and maybe down the road, we have a buying group where you say, "Okay, stop overpaying for aluminum pans. We made a national buy," and, so I just see a lot, and plus I love good barbecue. Even down at the beach, you'd be surprised, Panama City Beach, this guy, Bag Beach Barbecue, he's got probably 4 trailers. There's like somebody took a big water tank or a big tank and and all he does is cook on hardwood, and he does his briskets, and they are to die for. No Southern Pride, no Old Hickory. It's all
yeah.
old school. And
Ooh,
he's consist
wee.
consistently good product. Consistently good.
Nice.
Uh so
Very cool.
um so if we're going to talk, catering is, sort of in my wheelhouse, what I love the most. What
Mhm.
have you done to build it? Let's talk about percentages, right? You got about a 30% is catering. What percentage of that is full service versus drop off?
Full service is about 28%. The majority of our business is drop offs. Like that sweet spot for us is 20 to 25 to 75. And we do that all day.
Drop them off, aluminum pan, set it up,
Drop them off
and go.
100%.
Do you,
100%.
do you do all the setup yourself, or do y'all use third party delivery?
No, we do it all.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Have a crew that comes in, have catering coordinator that kind of handles a lot of that, the logistics of the morning. He oversees the drivers, all the delivery drivers. Um, and they rock and roll. They
Good.
come in, they're there right now making it happen. They do a great job.
Yeah, but you probably have $2,000-3,000 on the register before you even unlock the door some days or more.
100%. Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
That's always a good feeling to know your day's made before you unlock the doors.
Oh man. And so now, I'm always, I do a lot of speaking engagements like for different companies like Frost and Santander, all these different companies, because they're doing like these groups where they're building small businesses, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's always people who are like in catering business who are just starting. And I tell them like, that's how we saved our business. We were going through some problems. Like I remember when I first reached out to you, it was because we were like struggling. We were going in the toilet. And I was like, I think the only thing that will get us out of this is catering. I just thought trying to get people to come to the restaurant was going to take too long for how bad it was. Like, I'm struggling to pay payroll. Stuff. So I'm gonna tell you what I did. Is I didn't have any money, so I like took $50 out of the cash register and I created like these menus, right? These catering menus and things, and restaurant menus. And I took the menus, printed them, put them in a smoker, and I smoked the menus overnight, right? And I got this idea because I was out just passing out flyers. This older white lady was like, she took the flyer and she goes, "Doesn't smell like anything." I was like, it's a menu, man." I was like, "What do you want it to smell?" She was like, "You're a barbecue company. It should smell like barbecue." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So that's why I got the $50 to make the flyers. I made like 500 flyers, smoked those jokers. Then the next morning, I went out and hit these companies, and I hit I went all the way down Mockingbird by Love Field. I hit everywhere. And I figured like I'll do it about 9 o'clock. I'll do this to about 11 because nobody's really working. They're trying to figure out where they're going to go to lunch. That's just
Right.
kind of how it goes, right? So I got back to the restaurant at 11:15. These people start coming into the building with these orange flyers. I
Wow.
was like, oh my God, we are getting business. So I said, okay, I need to do this for catering. And so then I started smoking menus, going to every office building, going to every floor, passing out these menus. And then the phones started ringing for catering. And that's how we brought the business.
Wow. I have a lot of respect for hustle. And I don't think enough people I've coached a lot of restaurant owners about catering, and I can tell you on the front end who's gonna be successful and who's not. They either know how to hustle and go after the sales or they have somebody who can. Because if you don't
Right.
know how to sell and you're not willing to roll up your sleeves and knock on some doors, sample some food and get out there, you're not gonna be
Mm.
successful, The very low chance of that happening. You've got to
Yeah.
figure that out. I learned that in 3rd grade selling chocolate covered almonds. I bought a box and gave a free sample to every homeowner, and they bought either out of guilt or because they were good. So
Hmm.
that is
That's smart.
yeah, that's a great idea. I heard somebody they had smoke from like the pit uh pumped into the dining room. Somebody told me a
Oh,
story
wow.
about that.
Yeah, we don't have to do that. It already happens because
Yeah,
our pit's inside. So it's already,
and
as
that's
soon
a
as you
that's
get
the
to the
bad.
parking lot.
Have you ever been to the Rendezvous in Memphis?
Yes, I went years ago. Yeah.
So I grew up on the Rendezvous. My kids grew up on the I'm like, every time I go to Memphis, nobody wants to eat with me because they know we're going to the Rendezvous. Otherwise, don't come with me. But you go down to this alley, and because it's in a basement, the
Hmm.
the exhaust fan, you have to walk through that exhaust to get in the building.
Hmm.
God, if I was homeless, I'm hanging out at their door because between the smoke
Right there.
and what's in the dumpster, all those ribs that people don't eat in the dumpster, I'd be the best fed, happiest, warmest homeless guy in the United States. No
Heck
doubt.
yeah. Heck yeah.
That's crazy.
Man, that's hilarious.
So, what else? You have any other tips for people trying to build their catering sales?
I think the getting the systems is the best thing. I think that was the best thing that I did was noticing. Um, in my mind, I'm thinking that we having a good product. I think I can get out here and sell catering. That's really kind of what I thought, right?
Yeah.
But I thought, man, if I start doing this, I need a system because I was like doing it myself, right? Um, and so I was booking the catering, creating the invoices, um, packing them. I was the delivery driver. I did all of it.
Right.
You know how it goes, and
Right.
and people seem to be afraid of that and it's like, listen, that's where you got to start. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't have any money. Most of the time, nobody is funding you usually.
And even if they do, you don't know what you're doing anyway. You got to figure it
You
out.
don't have a clue,
Right.
right? You have a clue. So, yeah, you need to go through those things. You need to see what it feels like to drop things off, what people like, how they like it laid out on the tables, or do they like tablecloth? Do they not want a tablecloth? It's a lot of little things that you
Right.
learn by doing it yourself.
Awesome.
So, but I think the biggest thing is getting a system because it can make you look like a larger company than you are.
For
And I think
sure.
that's the biggest thing that you need getting started because to me, one of the things I've learned is in catering, you're not really selling food. You're not really selling that product first. The first thing to me that you're selling in catering is trust. And once you sell trust, you're always can just continue to add more
Absolutely.
and more customers.
Do you know who Mike Roman was? You know the name?
Mm-mm.
He started
What?
he started Cater Source. So when I was coming up, he would put on seminars and he had a newsletter and then he put on the Cater Source show and he sold out,
Mm.
had a magazine, whatever. He had a catering business in Chicago, genius guy, and he goes, "What you're selling is lack of embarrassment."
Absolutely.
Because it's like, you know, you can get good food everywhere. Like, I need to know you're not going to embarrass me. I'm not going to run out of food. You're going to show up on time and not make
Hmm.
my boss look bad. That's going to make me look bad.
Hmm.
And that always stuck with me. We're usually selling what we don't realize we're selling.
Yep.
And once you
That's true.
realize that, whether you're selling a celebration or, whatever it is, um, very interesting. Um,
Yeah.
we're sort of running out of time. I want to cover, I didn't know you were a TV star. Otherwise, I would have asked for an autograph. What TV shows,
Whatever.
what TV shows have you been on and how'd you get on them?
So I did the first show I ever did was called Deep Fried Masters. It was on Destination America. It was one of Discovery Channel's
Yeah.
um, affiliates. And so I did that show like 2013. And so what happened was my brother and I always create these crazy items for the State Fair of Texas. And so when you kind of get like that national attention, then like these shows like, hey, why don't you come do this? So this is the first one I ever did. I actually won the show with a product called fried Reese's. Because back then nobody was really doing that. So
So the
fried it,
Reese's cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
So you put them in the batter, deep fried 'em like funnel cake batter or something?
So that's how everybody was doing things back then. So what I actually did was you basically took things off the shelf, right? So it's kind of like early kind of what do you call it? What's the name of that show? I forgot the show. But you basically take things off the shelf. So I saw some flour tortillas and Reese's peanut butter cups, some strawberries, and they had like ice cream. And so I was like, "Oh man, you know what?" So I took the Reese's and I put it in the tortilla and made like a fried empanada. So I deep fried that, covered it with powdered sugar, put it with ice cream, chocolate sauce, and cooked strawberries on top.
Damn.
And they went crazy.
So do you sell more deep fried desserts or barbecue at the fair?
We at this point we're almost selling more deep fried desserts. Like this past year, we were in the finals for the competition of the fair, and we did we call it a deli taco. We did homemade smoked pastrami that we make, and we chopped it, put it in with mashed potatoes, uh, like mozzarella cheese, and all these different things, and chives, and then deep fried the whole taco, kind of like old school Jack in the Box, and people went crazy off of.
Man,
So we're selling a lot of those.
when's the Texas Fair?
It starts in September, the last weekend of September.
I need to come up there and work for free
Come on,
for food.
come on.
Work for food. We'll work for food. Man. So,
Yes, sir.
and I would imagine that the TV definitely helps get people to the restaurant.
Man. Oh man, the TV like so I've done at this point I've done Guys Grocery Games. I did another show called Carnival Kings with my brother. Restaurant Rivals that was on Food Network with my brother and my sister. Um, we did the I did a show with Todd Graves called Restaurant Recovery. Snoop and all the different people were on that show. Um, so we've done a lot of TV at this point, but the one for A&E really, it's like that show has been really popular and got a lot of people in the restaurant. And then they're like fair fans. So you go to the fair and people like, "Oh my god, we saw you on the show," so that whole thing happened.
And I'm sure it's a whole subculture. People go to different fairs just for the
Oh yeah,
the food at the fair.
oh yeah, it's
So,
great because we
so
created like fried Jello, so people still don't know how we did that, and that makes people go crazy.
yeah, people want something great. I like corn dogs,
Oh
and
yeah,
I've always said there's a place down in Florida called Seaside, a mile from my house, and they have these Airstream trailers that are like food trucks. They're
mhm,
stationary, right? And I was like, if I ever wanted to work in food again, I want to do a concept called primo dogs. So like prime corn dogs, but I would do different versions. So I would only use a kosher hot dog because you got to have a really high quality hot dog. Then I had a buddy over watching the Super Bowl, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. I did jalapeno cheddar lobster corn dogs with a spicy truffle aioli.
Oh my God.
To die for. And so I think people are so sophisticated, you could come up with some really, like, you could take breakfast sausage and put in pancake batter and deep fry that and serve it with like a maple butter. And, you could just do all these. You could basically make a glorified fish stick. So now you have a fish dog, whatever. There's a place here, they do panko breaded. I don't know if they're around anymore. They do panko breaded, cod, like fish and chips, and they do a wasabi tartar sauce.
Oh my God.
And
it sounds delightful.
It's phenomenal. And then they put Old Bay on their fries.
Come on.
It's really good. So
you're making me hungry.
And then you started it. I'm gonna finish it out. And then the other thing that I'm a big freak about is homemade lemonade.
Oh yeah.
And I learned this from Nanny's Lemonade out of Alabama. They go around to fairs and festivals. You got to use, I don't know if they use this or not. Maybe they don't, but simple syrup. You can't use sugar because when you shake lemonade, it's water at the top, it's so in the middle, and it's just granulated sugar on the bottom. But when it's simple syrup, you get the right balance of the sweet. Like, let's face it, Chick-fil-A's got it down.
Oh yeah.
They got it down on lemonade. Okay, I'm gonna get another cup of coffee and I'm gonna go eat some breakfast. But this has been great. I really appreciate it, and we appreciate it.
Man, thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
You've been listening to Barbecue Catering Smarts, where we bring you the best ideas, stories, and strategies from across the barbecue catering industry. We hope today's episode sparked new insights to help you refine your systems, elevate your customer experience, and grow your catering profits. For more episodes and insights, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us next time.